day, students. Sorry that I can't be here with you today, but I'm going to go over a little bit of what you are going to do today. First off, I know all of you have started on a draft of your position papers. Please go ahead and share a copy of that with me. I'm going to be able to take a peek at those over the next few days and give you some feedback. Next, the substitute is going to pass out the rubric for this paper with you. It's going to look just like this. Remember that the show and tell, that is your lead. That's how you want to hook your reader. That's how you want to get them interested in your topic. Organization, that you've used that boxing match structure that we've taught you and have all of those pieces fully developed. Elaboration, you have your quotes in there from trusty sources, and then you've done effective lead in and lead out, which we're going to talk about today. And each one of those support the paragraph, the ideas in the paragraph, and that you have appropriately cited those sources. We will talk about in-text citations tomorrow. So for today, make sure that you're getting down the information if you go and use sites other than the ones that I provided. But don't worry so much about your citations yet. And lastly, sentence structure and punctuation. That you've used a variety of sentence structures. Everything is punctuated correctly, and your grammar is consistently correct. One big thing that I've been noticing as I've been grading papers is capitalization. Some of those basic capitalization rules we've been forgetting. Also, we need to be writing in third person, not second person. It's very easy in this to fall into writing in second person to the you or in first person, and we're writing this paper in third person. You are going to return this paper with your essay on Monday. Monday's when the paper is due. You are going to have a printed copy of the paper, and you'll be turning this yellow rubric in with your finished essay, finished paper on Monday. As I was talking about earlier, today we're going to talk a little bit about lead in and lead out. So, you know, we talked about yesterday that we want to make sure that we have evidence to support our position. This particular paragraph does not have evidence. A benefit from playing violent role-playing games for teens is a sense of teamwork. Whether it is a game like Killer or an online game like Call of Duty, there is a definite sense of community. These games enable people all over the world to join together in a common goal. It allows people to strategize with others, whether in person or online. So this person has some really good reasons that are backing up their position, but they're missing that other piece that just makes it seem more trustworthy, and that is some evidence. So, all right, so student example with research. So taking the same thing, but adding that additional piece of the evidence of the research with it. A benefit from playing violent role-playing games for teens is a sense of teamwork. Whether it is a game like Killer or an online game like Call of Duty, there is a definite sense of community. These games all enable people all over the world to join together in a common goal. It allows people to strategize with others, whether in person or online. The benefit to role-playing games could lead to solutions to many problems. For example, according to The Guardian, people playing Folded, an online puzzle game about the protein folding, resolving the structure of an enzyme that causes an AIDS-like disease in monkeys. Researchers have been working on the problem for 13 years. The gamers solved it in 3 weeks. The sheer number of people in these online communities or teams could lead to future discoveries such as this. So here we have our evidence, our quote, to back up our reasons, to back up what we were saying. But we didn't just want to drop that quote in there. We needed a lead in to lead up to that quote, explain that quote, and then we needed a lead out to kind of show why we included that quote, why that quote was important. So our lead in, the benefits to role-playing games could lead to solutions to many problems. For example, we transitioned. According to The Guardian, where did you find that information? Then we have the quote itself. Then we lead it out. The sheer number of people in these online communities or teams could lead to future discoveries such as this. So, lead ins. Again, we want to describe it. We want to transition. Similarly, according to a recent study, we also want to set up the quote. So and so, author of this article, or you could say where you found it. They show this, they illustrate those. Remember those strong verbs, okay? So if I go back, the benefits of role-playing games for kids. The benefits of role-playing games could lead to solutions to many problems. So I led in. For example, transitioned. According to The Guardian, I said who the quote was from. Those are lead ins. We have our quotes. We want to make sure that we're using quotes that support or prove our topic sentence. So quotes that support or prove what our reasoning is. And it's important that these quotes are well chosen and that you fully explain them in the lead out. We want to use parenthetical citation, MLA style, when citing the quote. So we use quotation marks around the quote, and then we put the author and the page number in parentheses after the quote, and the punctuation goes after the citation. Okay, so our period at the end of the sentence would go after the end quote or after the parentheses. The lead out is where we want to explain why that quote was important. Why did we choose to include that quote? A strong lead out should identify the key words or parts of the quote that support your point and relate to the information back to your topic sentence. Okay, so point out what those key words are. Why is it important? The lead out should be at least one sentence, but it could be 2 or 3 sentences. And lead out are the most important part of your analysis. They reflect your thoughts on your topic. So let's go back again and look at our lead out here. The sheer number of people in these online communities or teams could lead to future discoveries such as this. So that's showing you why you included that quote, why you thought that quote related back to the reason that you gave. All right, so let's look at another example. The green, that's our lead in. The black, that's our quote. And the orange, that's our lead out. While Martin seems to suggest that kids who play games like Killer are distinguished by their ingenuity, it also is possible that they are distinguished by their naivety. Pertell, for example, a freshman who distinguished himself by ferreting out of their itinerary of a field trip the 2 targets were taken in Tel Aviv, followed those targets to Newark Airport where he found the victims and dispatched them. Playing at killer games in a high-security airport in a terminal serving the Middle East seems naive. So again, the green part, that was our lead-in. That was setting up our quote. That was giving us the information about the quote or where the quote came from. We have our quote, and then the orange, that's our lead out. So some transitions that we have that could help us with our lead in and lead out. Now some argue, while this may be true, it is also the case that despite this, as earlier stated, taken as a whole, this is significant because the evidence points to, by doing so, these are all transitions that will help you in writing your analysis. All right, that's what I thought. That was it. All right, so today you need to work on adding in your quotes, making sure that you're including lead ins and lead outs for all of your quotes. Remember that you need to have one quote per body paragraph. So one quote in your Tell Round 1 paragraph, one quote in your Round 2 paragraph, one quote in your POW, and one quote in your knockback. And again, there should be lead ins and lead outs for each one of those quotes. So go ahead, spend your time today working on your essays. working on your papers. And tomorrow we'll look a little bit further into citations. And remember that your papers are due on Monday. As always, you can email me with any questions. I'm also going to link this today's lesson, this video, on Google Classroom so that you can go back and look at it again if you have questions on anything. And I will see you tomorrow.